It's prime real estate, land bordered by an imposing foreshore. Land cleared of gorse and manuka is being used productively to grow investments. Natural resources are now a tourism vehicle, and Māori businesses are moving Māori branded exports overseas. This is part of the $215 million dynasty the Wakatu Corporation has built over the last 30 years.
What we are going to do is we're all going to go together out to the water, and those ones that are not going kayaking will come back again.
Ropata Taylor is third generation Wakatu. With a couple of degrees under his belt, he's heading the tourism portfolio.
We own this 100%. We're unashamedly a Māori company. It's one of our unique points of difference. It's our greatest strength. Our people are definitely our most important resource, and this is an opportunity to integrate all of those things together.
Very exciting.
Yep.
Today, Wakatu is hosting a group of Canadian Indians looking at inventive ways to propel development on their ancestral lands. This is part of Wakatu's corpus estate, with a watertight law preventing the sale of land. And given the dip in horticulture and agriculture, tourism here in Marahau is a sound investment.
That's why we're in kayaks. The basis of that is manaakitanga. That in our culture we specialise in manaakitanga. So how do we do old things new ways in a way that's mutually beneficial to our people, provides employment, opportunity to showcase our culture and ourselves, but in a contemporary context as well, which we feel is our strength.
Wakatu is committed to training and developing its young people to deliver the incorporation into the future.
The first generation of Wakatu focused on breaking us out of perpetual leases where we had no control. The next generation of Wakatu got involved in primary production on the lands that we were able to manage ourselves. Third generation of Wakatu started to diversify into other sectors like seafood and tourism and forestry and things that we didn't have a background in. And now we are vertically integrated as a global business, export business principally, with our commodity products and a strong domestic portfolio and property, residential, industrial, commercial and leases as well. And we continue with that lease regime that we've inherited from the Crown.
Like Māori, the ancestral lands of the Saskatchewan Indians are returning to them through Canada's native land claim system. They're here to find out how we're doing things down under.
So that's the reason why we're here, is to see what are the Māori doing, what are Wakatu are doing. We have a lot of similarities between the Māori of this country as well as our First Nations. We have the same plights, we have the same fight with the governments on all fronts that affects our people. We can go back and arm ourselves with ideas and plans and innovative ways to improve the lives of our people, instead of relying on the social system, the program that's not helping them at all.
Learning how to minimise tax payments on Māori land is something Wakatu hopes to learn from their visitors.
Taxing system.
Indian reservations don't pay tax. Marahau is where Rore's ancestors from the North Island landed and settled in the 1800s. Ngāti Tama, Ngāti Koata, Ngāti Rārua and Te Atiawa left the Taranaki Waikato region to settle Te Tauihu, the northern tip of the South Island. The land is very fertile and Marahau is named for its extensive cultivations.
He kora mai ki te whenua ki te moana, ne? He papa tēnei mo ngā kaupapa o te moana. He kaupapa maha mo tēnei whenua, ne? He mahi pēr he tūwhare, he tū kāinga pēr. He titiro māta, ne? He hanga painga mo tēnei. He hanga painga mo ngā whāna, ne? He hata painga mo te marae. He mahi koha mo tātou marae.
The Wakatu marae, such as Te Awhina and Motueka, are well off. There's definitely no need for battens ups or shop days at these marae. They receive income from orchards owned by Ngāti Rārua and Te Atiawa and also receive sizable annual grants from Wakatu.
We're growing pears,
kiwi fruit and apples on the Ngātahi blocks.
These pears are for the local markets, but Ngātahi, Wakatu's horticultural operation, also exports kiwi fruit and apples. Ngātahi is a joint venture operation with the Ngāti Rārua Te Atiawa Trust.
But our strength, of course, has been to grow assets outside our land base, which we can leverage. You know, we've leveraged off, raised capital from banks, and of course met our commitments and grown our business. So we've got 3 or 4 times the amount of land that we originally began with, and it's used for all sorts of purposes. You know, whether it be like here in a vineyard, or an industrial development, a commercial investment, or a factory for processing mussels.
Wakatu is now a major player in the international wine industry. Tohu Wine is marketed as an indigenous winery, producing 7 labels distributed to the domestic market and internationally to 21 countries.
The vines closest to us are Pinot Gris, as are the vines on the steep block above the dam, and the remainder of the block, 60%, is Pinot Noir.
2 years ago they introduced Cornwall wine. This liquid gold is sold in supermarkets locally for about $15 a pop. Land once overrun with gorse and manuka is now a food basket for its owners.
This has been in Pākehā ownership and control of this land here for more than 100 years. We're in a beautiful place up the Motere Valley. We've put our capital into here and building this magnificent vineyard. Our tūpunas 30 years ago when we first started Wakatu, they wouldn't have even dreamt where we would be today. And a lot of the shareholders still walk around in the days they can't believe that they own what they own. We've achieved this level as an organisation, individually and family-wise, we've got the capability to achieve and be successful. And that's the greatest, to me, that's the greatest single thing.
Another great feature is ownership of a mussel processing plant. Like their entrance into the wine industry, getting into the seafood industry was a joint venture with another Māori incorporation. Their entry into aquaculture also spawned the Foreshore and Seabed Act.
In 1997, we invested in crayfish quota with Paranihiki Waitotara Incorporation from Taranaki. We owned the company together, we still own it today. We're big quota owners, so our seafood interests are significant.
Aotearoa Seafoods Limited employs over 180 people, like this guy, the fastest mussel sheller in the southern hemisphere. He'd be handy on the marae. And there are big bickies in the seafood industry. These mussels, packaged under the Cornwall brand, are destined for markets in the Middle East, Asia and Europe.
The turnover for Aotearoa Seafoods is about $20 million per annum. Of the 9,000 tonnes processed at Aotearoa Seafoods, 3,000 tonnes of that would come from the company's own farms, so it's internally sourced, and the company owns approximately 110 hectares of water space. So a third of our production, of our annual production, is sourced from within. The Cornwall brand is the vehicle by which we are doing that, and obviously with our Wakatu ownership, we're coming from the indigenous aspect with our marketing plan.
Each business arm of Wakatu is directed by shareholders and 2 industry experts. Paul Morgan, who's chaired Wakatu for 5 years, says the secret to successfully utilising Māori resources is a combination of clear vision and purpose, sound business acumen and smart decision making.
I don't believe that people can't do it, it's whether they're committed to do it. And it takes time. It's taken us 30 years. As I say to them all the time, get at least a 20-year plan and look at working it year in, year out, and you'll get there.